What if for one day you just let yourself be so effing delusional thinking about the life you want? Because that's the difference between you and the person living their dream life. Their level of delusion. No, really, the woman living the life of her wildest dreams is operating through the law of delusion. Believing in the unseen, dreaming bigger than what she can physically see around her, and setting goals beyond what seems practical. And that, my friend, is how you hack your reality to get anything you want. Delusion. Here's the thing, being realistic is the biggest scam sold to us. So from this moment on, you are no longer playing the game of realistic, you are playing the game of infinite possibility. It is absolutely all in your head. There are 3 principles of delusion that I live and breathe that 180'd my entire life in 4 months after me trying to manifest change for 4 years. Practicing these principles will move you into a higher level of yourself where you can literally have anything you want. My definition of delusion is believing in what is unseen. Having blind faith to the things you cannot see, but the things you can feel in your heart and you can see in your head. It is blindly following this vision in your head that seems crazy to every other person around you because they can't see what you're seeing in your mind, but not caring. You might seem dumb, you might seem crazy, you might seem so out of touch with reality, but delusion is only delusion until it actually happens. You have to be the first person who thinks that it's actually going to happen. You can't just wait for somebody to hand you the delusion and give you the permission slip to say, you're validated, you're good enough, you're worthy of dreaming about this big, juicy life that you want to live. You have to be the first person. And you have to stick to that delusion no matter what other people say and how crazy you seem. Your delusion has to be so strong that it drowns out the noise of other people because they will come with a fire extinguisher and try to put out your flame. But your delusion has to be on another level in order for you to get what you want without actually seeing it first and not letting what other people say make you stop believing in your dream, in the life that you want. I have made the craziest moves in the last 4 years. The craziest. People think I'm crazy. People think I'm nuts. I'm the first Indian person I have ever met personally in my life that has ever pursued full-time content creation. I am the first person in my family to just randomly move from place to place. I packed up my apartment last year and moved to South Carolina for a month and a half. Then in December, I moved from Canada to England. I have done some crazy ASS stuff in the last, I would say 9-10 months, but in the last 4 years in general, I have really done some things that people would never think of doing. But as a result, my life right now is exactly how I want it. I am living the life of my dreams because of being delusional. And I'm going to teach you exactly how you're going to do that as well with these 3 principles. The first principle is assuming delusional privilege. First, we have to get rid of the limiting beliefs and old stories acting as evidence for why we are not privileged. If you are one of those people who uses the past to predict the future, then this part is going to be especially important for you. Your current reality is a reflection of the limitations you have put on yourself. You're literally denying yourself the privilege of having all the good things because something didn't work out 10 years ago. Working through your past is best done using therapy, and with that, I would like to introduce BetterHelp as the paid partner of today's video. BetterHelp connects you with a credentialed therapist who is trained to listen and give you unbiased advice. Having a space that feels safe enough to share is such an essential part to working through your struggles and working through your past. Getting started with BetterHelp is such an easy process. Just go to their site using my link, answer a few questions, and you're all set to be matched to a professional who has years of experience helping with struggles just like yours. With BetterHelp, you get to choose how you want to speak with your therapist, which has always been my favorite part of BetterHelp, along with just how customizable making your therapy experience can be when you use BetterHelp. I'm going to leave my discount code on the screen, which is betterhelp.com/Vickita. And I'll leave a link at the top of my description box where you can sign up so you can enjoy a special discount on your first month. Once you have cleared out all of the old stuff, you can step into your privileged mindset, which is just assuming the identity of someone who is privileged. This is delusional privilege, living, breathing, and speaking like you are God's favorite, you are immune to everything you don't want, and you have special rights in this world. I obviously have to make a disclaimer because the word privilege can mean certain things that it actually isn't, but we have all been conditioned to believe privileged people are entitled, they're all white people, and they're just rude, and they're all Karens. However, that is not the case. Being privileged does not mean you turn into someone who is rude and just thinks they're better than everyone else. Being privileged is just taking on the identity of someone who believes they can have, be, and do whatever they want because they have privilege. It's more of an internal dialogue switch up rather than, like I just said, acting like you are better than everybody else. Assuming you have privilege literally vanishes all the negative self-talk that comes with believing you are at some disadvantage because of your race, your gender, your background, your socioeconomic status, your childhood, etc. You are privileged despite all of those things. That is where your delusion comes in because the world, your family, your friends, the people around you are going to consistently affirm that you cannot have certain things because of who you are, how you were brought up, all those things I just mentioned, race, gender, background, etc. And if you listen, it will be true. A privileged mindset is assuming that no limitations exist in order to get what you want. And this also means not giving into fear because fear is a limitation that privileged people do not give into. A privileged mindset is knowing you are good enough to be there and you are worthy of thinking about the things you want. You are worthy of fantasizing about this dream life. Privileged people don't wait for somebody else to tell them, hey, you are good enough to be in this room. They tell themselves. That is why they make it into those rooms. That is why they are privileged because they have taken on this delusional sense of entitlement to believe that they are supposed to be in that room, they are supposed to speak at that place, they are supposed to have that kind of relationship, they are supposed to live in a house that looks like that. This is all delusional privilege that you need to start assuming, regardless of what you think is your special exception as to why you cannot have that thing or be with that person or whatever else you want. Principle 2 is having delusional audacity. I like to think of delusional privilege as the mindset part and delusional audacity as the action. The action where you are claiming your dream life with bold moves. Like I was telling you about my story, making moves that seem odd for you and who you are or who people perceive you to be, right? That box that they have put you in. Making moves that are outside of the box. Making moves that just outright confuse people. Because you're operating from the law of delusion, these moves seem weird, outlandish, crazy, and out there for other people, but for you, they are normal. They are just things that need to take place because you're living through delusion by seeing the vision of what you want in your head, and you're taking moves accordingly. For other people, they're not seeing the movie that you're seeing up here, so you're gonna be looked at as crazy. And like I said earlier, your delusion needs to be so strong, it needs to be so at the level where other people's noise is not going to water down your delusion. It's not going to take away anything from what you are trying to do. This principle is really about living out the quote, to have an extraordinary life, you must do extraordinary things. You've already conquered the mindset with principle number 1, where you are believing that you are worthy of what you want. Now you are claiming it with audacity. I can absolutely be a millionaire. I can absolutely move to that country with no plan. I can absolutely be in the relationship of my dreams with the man of my dreams. It's like that little girl that has her dad wrapped around his finger. She just looks at him and knows that I'm gonna get what I want. Like, I want that thing and I'm gonna get that thing. This is also why men who are 2 out of 10s are shooting their shot with girls who are 10 out of 10s. And I respect it because they are thinking in their head, rejection who, fear who, that girl's hot and I want to go for it. They have no question in their mind about anything else other than I see it, I want it, I got it. That is delusional audacity. Start asking for what you want. That saying, closed mouths don't get fed, that is what is keeping you living a life you hate because you're too scared to ask for what you want. You're too scared to ask for more. You're too scared to ask for a promotion. You're afraid it could never be you. And why would they choose someone like you? And that is because most women in this world are operating through what other people are telling them they are capable of. Other people are telling you where you should be at a certain age, what you should be doing if you are in this circumstance, what you're capable of if you are this type of person. You have to block all of that out and literally have delusional audacity and thinking what you want is yours and being so secure in asking for it, asking for what you want, claiming what you want with bold action and going for it and literally not listening to anybody else. I am a living, breathing example of that. When I think back to the last 9-10 months of my life and how much I have accomplished when I first started making content and decided that I wanted to be a business owner rather than pursue the law degree that I was going to school for, I did not care what one person was saying. I am not kidding. If you asked my mom, we used to sit at the counter together, like at our kitchen dining room table, and I would tell her, like, this is what's going to happen. Like, this, what I'm experiencing right now, is going to happen. I was telling her this 3-4 years ago, and I had zero idea of how it was going to happen. So I started out pursuing blogging, and now I'm here making YouTube videos. So you don't have to know the how it's going to transpire. You just need to know that it is going to happen, so you don't need to worry about anything else, anybody else's opinions. You just have to know that you can see it up here and it's gonna happen, and you have the audacity to claim it into existence. No more, I have to work hard and prove myself. It's going to be someone, so why not me? And you can make this so much easier by using other people as evidence. Such a strange analogy, but I don't live in Africa, right? I can't see Africa around me right now. I know it exists. I don't live there, but I know other people live there. I don't have to be in Africa and live in Africa to know that Africa exists and people live in Africa. All I know is that Africa exists because other people live there, and if I wanted to live there, I could. Like, that is a full-blown possibility for me, but I don't see it right now in my 3D reality. Like, I do not see any evidence of Africa existing and people living in Africa right now. This is the same thing for you and the life that you want. Just because you don't see it right now in front of you and it is not in your current reality where you can physically touch it, does not mean it is not a possibility for you. Your dream life exists for other people. So you don't need your own evidence to believe that your dream life exists. You're going to anchor into other people's dream lives. Use them as the evidence to believe, like, oh my God, they're living my dream life. She's driving my dream car. She's with my dream man. You know, not him specifically, but the relationship, you know, she's in the relationship of your dreams. Like, you claim their evidence as your own and know that because it exists for them, it can exist for you as well. And it is existing for you in your head. And again, don't worry about how it's going to happen because that is going to kill the magic of this entire process. All you need to do is focus on claiming it boldly with audacity. Principle number 3 is delusional gratitude. We've got gratitude and then we've got delusional gratitude. Gratitude where we are already being thankful for the thing that we see up here, but we don't see out here. We are anchoring into the feeling of what it is going to be like when we actually get that thing. So many people wait to receive the thing to feel thankful for it. And that is playing a completely different game that doesn't actually work. You're never going to win in that game. The game that matters, the game that's going to get you to win, is the one where you're claiming it now, you're believing in it now, and you're being grateful for it now because you can see it in your head. By now, I'm sure you understand that the law of delusion is literally just believing in the unseen. And we know that what we focus on and what we are grateful for multiplies. So when we practice being grateful for the things that we want that we don't yet see around us, we are strengthening our belief and we are multiplying our blessings. This is a very simple principle. There's not much explaining to be done with this one. You're literally just being grateful for the things that you see around you already so you can multiply those things, but you're also being grateful for the things you can only see up here. So that when they do arrive, it's already conditioned into you to have that thing, if that makes sense. A lot of times people will want something, but they will seem so far-fetched for them, so out of reach, where they cannot possibly fathom that thing in their lives. Doing these practices and embodying these principles daily is going to help you normalize your desire so that it seems attainable, it seems achievable. And that is what continuously brings it closer and closer to you. And practicing this delusional gratitude will help you assume it to be normal by already claiming the thankfulness for it. You're already claiming it as yours. You're already saying, I'm so grateful for this thing. And therefore, when it comes to you, you're like, yeah, I'm so grateful for this thing. I've had this thing for so long already. You're already experiencing this thing in your head, which means that you should already be grateful for it. I don't want to beat this one down like a dead horse, but this is a non-negotiable. The more gratitude you have, the more your blessings will continuously unfold. If you're ready to take your learning to the next step, watch this video next.